Alright, this is my confessional before I even got into the call with Seclusion Lake. So, it is like day freaking 4. As you can tell, I'm annoyed. My allergies are freaking killing me. So, I'm not even in the mood to deal with anyone at this point. So, the thought of having to just, be in a call one-on-one with whoever was out and just talking about how our memories of us getting eliminated. I don't even want to freaking reminisce and think about that anymore. I want to move forward and plot against the people that betrayed me. So I'm really not in the mood to deal with anyone's bullcrap. So if the person that's on Seclusion Lake gives me an attitude, bro, no, today is not the day for that. I'm still salty, as you can tell that I freaking got out. I'm not in a good mood. I'm not the same person. I had so much to prove in this game. Like, the last game I was in, I freaking won that crap. And now just going into, this game, the freaking All-Stars with Jeanette and Hot Kelly Wentworth, and just, me being weak and showing that I can't go far in a game, because I'm trying to prove to them that I can be on Real Survivor, but apparently not. So, but don't lose hope. I'm going to see who is on Seclusion Lake with me, and whoever it is, I don't care who it is, I got to plan something, just in case 2 people come back, to plan like a final 2, and start having an army against Team Janet. I may say my name is Team Janet, but I'm not Team Janet no more. But I do have a plan that could win me this whole game. But I'll reveal it. What I'm going to do is, anyone that's on Seclusion Lake, I'm going to say, alright, we're going to be unified. And if multiple of us get back into the game, we're going to be a team. Alright, we're going to team up. Since they betrayed us, we're going to go after them. But I think only 1 or 2 people can get back in. So I'm just going to be cool with everyone that gets out. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to gather everyone from Team Kelly. And I'm going to pitch to them and say, Team Janet, they are grouping together. They're sticking together to the merge. They're going to get every single one of us out if we don't do something. So, I'm going to get all of Team Kelly to get Team Janet out of here. Then, from there, when it's just all of Team Kelly and me, what I'm going to do is, I'll form my cliques in Team Kelly. Then, when I make it to the finale, all of Team Janet will be in jury. And then, guess what? My pitch is, yo, I am Team Janet. Let's go. We want Team Janet to win. Look, I may have screwed you guys in the past, but look, I'm still Team Janet. Let's let Team Janet get this win. And all Team Janet in the jury will, for me, boom, I win this freaking game. And I go on Real Survivor. But we're thinking too far in the freaking future. I'm going to go into this call. Hopefully I can try and form something. I don't know who's in there. And I don't know what any twists occur. But hopefully it makes use of my time. Because I really am not in the mood to deal with anyone's crap right now. Alright, now this is my confessional for being in the game. Being in the call. So I get into this call, and it's just me and this one other lady named Jess. And she is equally as mad as I am. I think I'm a little more angry, but she also got betrayed by them. It was a unanimous vote, same thing as me. She didn't play her safety thing, same as me. So I feel like there's a lot we could relate to. But my thoughts on her, really, I don't know how I feel about her. She's giving me some weird vibes. I don't know why. I had to talk with her for like 2 hours. And it was so hard to come up with a conversation that she would talk about her kids and crap. But I don't really care. I was trying to plan what to do for the future. But, I don't think, see, the thing is, I think people come into this game and they just want to talk. And she kept saying how much she loved Katie and how much she wishes she was here instead of me because I was boring. Gee, thanks. And on top of that, she says, oh, if there's a challenge, I'm going to beat you. I'm just saying. Oh, what? Nice to meet you, too. What? Look, you're confident. Hey, I give you that. But you think that you want this spot in this game more than me, I will fight for this spot back in this game. And I'm going to show that I may not win, but you damn right I'm about to win. Look, I'm not going to be cocky. I'm not. Genuinely. But you're saying she is blatantly saying that she's getting in. There's no reason to even think that I have a chance. But And I was like, bro, we're supposed to be, like, on a team. Like, when it comes down to the challenge, then you can be like that. But damn, these people are competitive in this game. Dang, what kind of cast members are these? Like, and she said she played other games and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm not really feeling this chick. I don't really care for her. Look, if she gets back into this game, I'm obviously gonna stick with her to the end and team up with Katie, and we're gonna freaking go to Final 3. But I'm not taking Katie to Final 3 because everyone likes her. But if I make it to that point, I'll discuss that later. But yeah, we were just talking, and then I was freaking sneezing up a storm because my allergies are killing me. And all of a sudden, I see Queen Iconic Janet join the chat, and I'm over here sniffling, freaking like wiping my nose and snot everywhere. And she joins it. I'm like, I'm not even ready for this. Like, first let me at least like do my hair and stuff. And then she says, "Hi, how you doing?" I'm like, OMG, bro, it's just me and Janet. And like, I want to apologize and say, look, in my audition video, I said I was going to win this thing for Team Janet. And I was the first one out. So I'm kind of like saying how mad I am. And she says, you can't be like that. You have to think about the positive and things, which I do appreciate Janet for saying that. But listen, I'm not looking at the positive things. There was nothing positive. It's not like I met any good people because they're all fake. Fake. And I can tell Janet knows that I'm salty. And I am salty. Like, no doubt about it. I am going to hold a grudge, But look, I'm not going to express that. Anyone I see on Team Janet in Seclusion Lake, I'm going to say it's all cool. We just got to make sure we get back into this game. And then when they're back in this game with me, I'm going to stab them in the back. Not literally. But, like, I think Janet wants, I don't know. I don't know if she wasn't really feeling me. I think she was just like this pain in the ass kid. Like, go cry to your mom. Like, but she is nice. I don't think she's like that. But I'm just rambling at this point. Honestly, I just don't want to be here, period. I really don't. I want to be back in this game playing with these people. Honestly, I hope that my team loses every single challenge. I hope. I genuinely hope. I should be a team player, but nah, you did me dirty, I'm gonna do you dirty. But I'm telling you right now, if my team loses, Katie is the next one to go. And Jess said that she gave her like a half of an advantage. So hopefully, I could give someone, I'm going to give her the other half, and hopefully she uses it if my team loses. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But yeah. Alright, now this is my confessional of, Doc's coming in and saying that we have a choice to give it to another half to someone else. So, after a little bit of her telling me about, her playing bootleg Big Brothers and her freaking moving to Virginia Beach, or blah, 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 her, like, saying how much she, like, loves Janet and wants to be her sugar mama, like, after, not even gonna lie, like, I know we're way past it, but she talked about Janet like she was a freaking goddess. Like, she's like, oh, I loved having a conversation with her. Oh, my God. Like, I'm like, damn, girl. Like, oh, I like her, too. But, like, she's my wifey. Like, get your own boo. Anyway, so, after a little while, Docs comes in and says, yo, you guys have a say in something. Or whatever. Like I said, I just wasn't feeling that whole seclusion. Like, I just want to get out of there. Period. Point blank, period. And then he said that we have a choice to give someone else a half of an advantage. So I'm like, oh, damn, okay. So they pull, they're gonna pull stuff out of a hat. Or like a, whatever, like, yeah, like a, whatever it was. And then they said, okay, so there's gonna be 3 person per group. You have to choose one of the people in the group that he chooses to give another half of a, safety thing to. And I'm like, bro, if 3 of the people are on team freaking Janet, I'm about to be pissed. I'm about to be so pissed. Oh, no. What am I saying, bro? That girl wasn't saying that about Janet. She's saying about Katie, bro. I'm just so out of it and so annoyed. But, going back to the story, they basically said that, so whoever got chosen, we have to choose. And I'm hoping and praying it's not anyone from Team Janet. Like, I'm just praying it's not. Because look, get me off this lake. I'm going to swim out of here. Because I'm not giving any one of those people advantages. And then, Katie was one of the first names to come up. And we just agreed, Katie. And Jess even said Katie too. Because Jess and Katie, they're maybe having a relationship in the background of this game, I think. I don't know. But we automatically decided her. So now she has a full advantage. Look, she better use it, alright? Because they're going to get her out if they lose the challenge. So hopefully, look, Katie got to get her crap together because I need her. And Jess needs her, but I need her more because I'm going to beat Jess. And look, in terms of the future of this game, I'm just going to make the most out of Seclusion Lake, solidify my relationships. But this is not somewhere I want to be for, you know, I can't deal with being in isolation, being away from the game for this long. Hopefully the challenge is soon. Hopefully I can get back into this game and start playing it. Hopefully I can stir the pot. Because this game is hella boring without your boy stirring up the drama. So, soon I'm going to get back in this game. I'm going to beat Jess. Alright? I'm going to say bye-bye. Alright? Anyone who comes here, I'm going to welcome them, hug them, maybe seduce them. And then stab them in the back. Get Team Janet out. Get this W. Win this money for my charity. Give my girl Janet a hug. Maybe ask Team Kelly Wentworth to be my... What am I saying? I was going to say for her to be my girlfriend. Whatever. But the point is, this is a mess. I freaking hate it here. Another day, another seclusion, useless lake. Bro, I don't want to be here. I don't know how many times I have to say it. I really don't want to talk to this chick anymore. I really don't. Look, I feel like I'm talking with my teacher, or my grandma. Like, I need someone else here. Like, look, I love the girl. She's an icon. She's a queen. She's a badass. She's a savage. You know, you don't mess with her. She snatches your wig. But I need some masculinity in here, all right? There's too much, you know, I need a man here, you know, to kind of balance it out and kind of, you know, because I feel like it's awkward between me and her. She's like 80 years old and I'm like 10 years old. So it's not much we could talk about. I can't relate and say, oh, my kids are doing great. How are your kids? Or, so, you seen the weather lately? Like, I can't, like, it's weird. Like, I want to talk about cartoons and video games and, you know, but whatever. Honestly, look, I'm just hoping that all of Team Janet goes. All freaking Team Janet goes because I am so mad and pissed off that they would have gotten me out. Look, I'm telling you guys right now, this is some BS. If I don't come back, first of all, I got robbed. I got freaking robbed. I need to come back in this guy. I'm telling you guys right now, if I don't get back in this game, I'm coming back in another season because that's some bullshit. That's some bullshit. There's no way that I'm gonna, I leave off is getting voted first out on my team. No way. Don't worry, I'm gonna come back in another season. But, let's hope and pray that freaking all of Team Janet comes into freaking seclusion and then I can beat all their asses, and then when I freaking win the challenge back, I stick the fingers and go, bye! Alright, so that's the call. Okay, so that was, before that other dude came into Seclusion Lake. I don't even know his name, but whatever. So, it is time for elimination, and I am so freaking nervous. Look, I hope it's freaking, honestly, look, I don't want to be selfish and say Carl, but I low-key hope it's Carl or one of those freaking, David and Haley and freaking, like, them two. Those are bitches. Those, they're like, it's okay, Anthony, I got you. Shut your bubblegum dub looking ass the fuck. Bruh. Sorry. Anyway. And then this dude comes in, and I'm like, oh, shoot, you're the old guy. Now, that's mean. I don't know his name. But look, it is what it is. But that guy, that droid, he seems super cool. Like, he seems like someone that, like, would babysit my cats. Like, and, like... But look, honestly, I remember when I first saw him in the call, I think he was the person that I talked with, when, I'm trying to remember. when I was telling him about how Carl was trying to team with me. So I like him. I like the dude. I feel like he is genuine. And I've honestly, no tea, no shade, but I feel like freaking the girl and the guy that's in the Seclusion Lake, I feel like they had a past relationship, because these, first of all, I ship these two. Like, in the comments, let me know if you guys ship the two, because I do low-key. But honestly, though, like, I like the dude. He seems genuine. He seems cool. He, you know, kind of reassured me and let me know how he felt about me. So honestly, I like that. Like, I feel like he is a good dude, and I wish he was on my team, because I feel like he was someone that I can, you know, relate to, like a daddy-son thing. Like, you know what I mean? What am I saying? But anyway, like, I'm glad that he's here, because they have some beef, the two, from past games. But I feel like, okay, low-key, I feel like the guy is BSing the girl, because the girl, before the guy even came in the call, she was like, I thought he was going to be on my side because we played in a past game together and we teamed up, but he was like, he just betrayed me. But now he is saying, oh no, I tried to warn you. I think that's full of crap. I think he's full of crap. Look, I like him, but there's no, like, all people are just fake in this game. She was talking so much crap about him, but then when he joined, she goes, oh, daddy. Like, nah, people, they're so fake to one another. Just like everyone in this game. It's just, it's so annoying, bruh. It honestly is. That's why, bruh, this season's freaking missing out. We need, like, people to stir up this game. I already know who's gonna freaking win this whole game. It's so annoying, but look, I feel like I can beat the two. That's just the bottom line. I feel like I can beat the two. And I can get back in the game. Because, honestly, this freaking season needs some drama and some tea. And there's going to be no more freaking, oh, I don't know how to play. It's going to be like, I'm here, I'm queer. No, I'm straight. And I'm going to freaking win this game. But, it was a great conversation. I did enjoy having his company. And he does give the vibes. You know, he does make the mood go up. And it's another, you know, someone to talk to instead of the grandma. I'm kidding. That's a joke. Don't, yeah.
Wow, a lot to unfold. So, super glad we got exemption. I'm really glad to see that Kupini and Mariana are on my new party. And I'm really glad to see Olivia, because she's someone I actually talked to on day 0. So I'm really hoping I have formed alliances pretty well. We'll see. I'm also glad to see Danielle, because, you know, she was very transparent on day 0, and she said that she had been on a previous season. So I really liked her honesty. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't know what tomorrow's challenge is going to be. I tried to be as helpful as, like, I could be in terms of, like, you know, brainstorming, because we got some clues or whatever, but unfortunately I'm not going to be able to be there for tomorrow's challenge due to a family obligation. So you know, I am worried about where I stand. I really am, because if we lose and we have to go to Crossroads, like, I know I'm up for elimination. I'll probably be you know, deserted. So I'm worried, because I'm having such a great time, and I'm really hoping that my alliances pay off. And I was super transparent with them. I told them what's what. I mean, I did wait till last minute, but, like, I just didn't know when was a good time, because I thought maybe, you know, we would be forced to be in, like, at the bay or by the fire in, like, the smaller chat rooms. But, and if they did force us to do that, then I could have strategized, you know, with Kupini and Mariana, because, of course, you know, I do have that connection from my previous party with them. But in the end, I decided to just be completely transparent with everyone. And so if I'm voted off, I completely understand, no hard feelings. And I really hope that, you know, my party plus Bridget makes it to the end, because I really like them. So we'll see. you know, it's been a great time, and I'm like really nervous and scared that I am going to be deserted, but you know what? I just really have to hope that my alliances are strong. And if they are, then I totally owe them one. And I will definitely be loyal to them. Like, I would even say I would sacrifice my placement for them, you know, because this is a big ask. So hopefully tomorrow, you know, they win the challenge and we don't have to go to Crossroads. But if not, then I'm going home, and this is my final you know, video. But I'm really hoping it works out. But also, hold up, let me tell you, I am not surprised, but like, you know, I am super nervous about Philip now that I like everything was revealed to me during our time after the challenge at base camp. Like, okay, Philip is a big threat and he needs to go. So I'm really hoping that their party loses tomorrow and they're forced at Crossroads, but we'll see. Yeah, I think I know who the big threats are, and we got to take them out before, you know, we go to the final ascent. Before we rendezvous, you know what I'm saying? Man, a lot of new information, stuff I'm not surprised by at all, but it's like, man, you really can't trust anyone. But I really hope I can trust Kupini and Mariana, because I do like them a lot. So we'll see. We will see. Hopefully I played my play as best as I could. You know, it was better to be transparent in front of my whole new party instead of trying to like be sneaky about it. But you know what? If I go, I go. It's been real.
So today was not a good day on the Glacier. Started out with Team Kelly. We were all getting along really good. Chatted each other up before the challenge. We actually all pretty much figured it out that it would be a couple of challenges and a couple of endurance competitions. So we divided those up among ourselves, and Neil and I would have wound up sitting out, if only, because then we go to, we all gather up for the challenge, and all of a sudden Janet pops in, and I love seeing Janet, except Janet decided to tell us that we were having a party swap. So there are now 3 parties. I wound up on a party with, actually remained on red. I'm sorry, on blue, with Bridget, which was awesome. I love Bridget. But then we wound up with 3 folks from Team Janet in terms of Katie and David and Haley. All lovely people, and Katie is a force of nature. But we went to the challenge, we redivided. I picked the jigsaw puzzle, which I thought I'd be pretty good at. I had tech difficulties, and then I had mouse difficulties, and then I had shaky hand difficulties, and somewhere in there I probably had brain difficulties. So I really sucked on the jigsaw puzzle. And don't know the other times, but I made it so we didn't have a chance. So I figured dead man walking. Off we go, back to camp. We have a little nice chit chat between the 5 of us, since we've never met before, except somewhat briefly on day 0. And then we're off to the races. Got into a ring with David, and I've seen him play before for a different org, and he's very good and seems like a straight up guy. So I really wanted to, I thought I could get him over to my side. Pitched him hard, both about my being a very loyal player, which I am, and wanting to deal with rational players. And while I love Katie to death, she has not shown herself yet to be a rational player. So we talked a lot, actually, and he was definitely listening with a somewhat open mind. He asked me if he flipped with us, who would Bridget and I want to vote for. We said Katie simply primarily because A, of the wanting some predictability in the game, and also because it seemed like the sense I got pretty early was that David and Haley were working together. So I'm good with that. He also asked me if I would vote out Bridget. No way. First, because I think she's awesome. I'm a very loyal player, and even if I weren't, it would kind of kill my pitch immediately if I flopped on my fellow former tribe mate. So there was that. I'm still uncertain. I'm trying to see if I could read some clues from David once cameras went up at Crossroads. And that was that was the most incredible Crossroads ever. That was epic. We go through the usual stuff, and there's a fair amount of people not really answering questions. I'm never afraid to answer a question. So I go out and start pitching pretty early. And then Katie gets engaged, and it was amazing. Amazing. We talked about everything from oranges to poker to strippers who may be gunmen or gunmen who may be strippers. I don't know. She's incredible. She must live in an amazing life. But anyway, it was epic. It was hysterical. I still wasn't sure what I was going to do when I went into the voting booth. And I know looking at David, I was starting to get some hope. And I actually wrote down on my board when I went in, either Katie or no vote, because I was completely undecided. Decided, as it turns out, incorrectly, to go no vote and use my coin. Because I figured if David was going to vote for me, and I knew Haley was going to, then at least, even if I didn't get immunity, I knew Bridget would vote with me, and so we would have a tie, and so then at least I could go talk my ass off. But as I discovered, I misread. I did this. I went no vote really at the very last minute. Picked my number, go on my way. But I struggled because looking at David for the last couple of minutes before we went to the vote, from the look in his face, I thought there was hope. I ultimately decided, though, I needed to protect myself, except like a chump, I did not realize the votes came up. It was 1 for me, 1 for Katie, and 1 for Bridget. WTF on the vote for Bridget. And then I realized, oh, David tried to save me by throwing his vote on Bridget. And had I kept my vote and voted for Katie, she would have been gone, I would have been safe, and we all would have lived happily ever after, at least until the next crossroads. So, my bad. I went out. I had a great time, but it's a game. And I really liked everyone I met, and like I said, that I could not ask to go out on a more epic crossroads than I did. So I wipe my eyes and prepare to have my weeknights open again, and all of a sudden, Doc comes in with Kelly to tell me that I have a second chance. I have no idea quite yet how that happens, or what sort of a battle back it's going to be, but I'm here with Jess and Anthony, although I haven't heard anything from them yet. And so, with any luck at all, the fun will continue. And that was incredibly long, so I'll just say goodnight.
Hi, so day 4 went really well. Actually, just kidding, it didn't go that well. We ended up switching teams, which was a total shock to, I think, the whole party, both parties. I ended up on the same team, the Chuka Nene team, but we were down in numbers. It was Bill and I against 3 of the Team Janet's team, which kind of stunk. But I thought I would have an in with Katie, who I went to the Serrated Peaks with. So I was really looking forward to talking with her and strategizing with her, but I really never got that opportunity to do that. We went to the challenge. Our team ended up, unfortunately, losing the challenge, which kind of stunk. And not to put blame on anyone, but the Team Janet really thought that it was Bill's fault that we lost the challenge. So gung-ho, right off the bat, right when we went into strategizing, they said Bill all the way. I told them, listen, I'm really loyal to Bill. I don't feel comfortable voting for him. That's not going to happen. So they knew right off the bat that my loyalty lied with Bill. I think they tried to persuade me here and there, and I thought that I was going to be able to persuade Katie to maybe join us and then vote someone else off, but I never got the opportunity to talk to her. And then when it was all said and done, Tribal Council, or Crossroads, was a mess. There was just a lot going on in there. Two people used their advantages and picked their numbers, and there was split votes, like a tie between all of us, and Katie was telling us some crazy stories, and she was also like basically asking to get voted off. Like she was like, pick for me, vote for me, and then I did vote for her because I was like, okay, if this girl's asking to get voted off, I'm gonna vote for her. I voted for her, and then when Doc said her name at Crossroads and said, Katie, 1 vote for you, she clapped like she was excited. So I don't know if she's understanding what's going on in this game. But anywho, when it came down to it, after there was a 3-way tie, me, Bill, and Katie, they went into a revote, and Bill ended up going home, which stinks because he was like one of my strongest allies here. And now I'm really not looking forward to tomorrow because we're going into a challenge down 1 person, and I am basically 3v1. So if we lose again, I'm probably gonna go.
What's up, y'all, and welcome to another edition of Carl's Confessionals. Alright, so your boy's out here in the woods looking for a compass, or I really wish they were hidden in something like this, because in the woods, because I think I could find them all. I'd have 2 by now, but I really have no idea where they are, but trust me, your boy's gonna figure it out and find one. So let's talk about yesterday a little bit. We swapped, and we totally killed the challenge. we destroyed the rest of the competition. I think, let's talk about the swap. The swap went well. I think for me, the swap with Mike and Joshua, who are, already my boys. So we already did the nod. We know, we have the numbers. But Neil is pretty interesting to me. He's got that beard like me. Who knows? There could be an alliance, the Bearded Brothers. You never know. Janet did warn us about Philip, so we'll have to see. But I think we're a real strong tribe, and I don't know how many party, and I don't know how many crossroads we'll go to. But I'll tell you this. I think your boy's all right. I think I'm sitting all right. You never know, though. You never know. But let me get back to doing what I got to do. I'm going to find me one of these compass. I swear to God. I swear. All right, y'all. Oh, hell! King Carl.
That was insanity. That was absolute, unmitigated insanity. That was bizarre and over the top and like the craziest day probably in the history of Expedition Online. I mean, so we're preparing for this challenge and we're all picking among the Janet teams who's going to do what. It seems like only 5 people are going to be competing out of our 8. And then we get there and they announce that Troy had left the game due to some family matters and that we were doing a tribe swap. And so they randomly drew out new tribes, and it's, one of the most crucial points of the game because, there's so much luck involved in terms of how many people you have relationships with are on your tribe. And, a bad swap can ruin your game. Can just ruin your game. You can just get voted out without being able to defend yourself because no one knows you. And because they're staying loyal and they're sticking to numbers. And regardless of strategy, you could just be done. So it's terrifying. So blah, 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 tribe swap. On the surface, it seems like I got lucky because there was 3 Janets and 2 Kellys. But one of the people that's a Janet is Katie, who is a wild card beyond wild cards. Like, a wild card would find her to be a wild card. It's... Oh my gosh. I have a crying baby. I am going to have to do this in multiple parts and take care of this. So I will record another one shortly. Someone's a fussy baby and can't go to sleep. Someone, if you lay her down, she screams and cries at 11:30. It's midnight now. So here I am with my luxury item, Piper. The cutest little luxury item in Expedition Online history, I'm sure. And I'm going to just do my confessional with her as she calms down. Because if I lay her down, she will start screaming. She just wants to be held. Ain't she cute? All right, so tribe swap. So we each have to compete in the challenge. So we have to go back and figure out who's going to do what. Bill, we kind of ruled out him doing one of the physical things, and we figured, he'll do one of the puzzles. So he went with the jigsaw since I'm competent in slide puzzles. And I even showed him how to screen share. I kind of went through a little tutorial of just how to do it, made sure we tested it in the room. I was like, great. I didn't want technology to be the issue. And we got to the challenge, and it was just a disaster. It was just like an absolute hot mess. Like, if Docs was there to just cajole us, as you see on other shows, he would have said, "This is the worst blowout in Expedition Online history." Because, I couldn't even see the tribes competed, but I knew we lost. Like, it wasn't. There wasn't any question that we lost by a lot when Bill got to the jigsaw puzzle. He took, I wrote it down because there was a little timer at the bottom of the jigsaw puzzle. He took 16 minutes and 30 seconds to do a 50-piece jigsaw puzzle. So, please don't watch it. Viewers, don't watch that challenge. I watched it so you don't have to. It was a disaster, an absolute disaster. Every other tribe completed the entire challenge 3 minutes earlier than Bill did an entire jigsaw puzzle. 5 legs, and Bill took longer than entire tribes competing in this challenge. He took 16 minutes, 30 seconds to do the jigsaw. Red tribe completed in 7 minutes and 7 seconds. White tribe completed in 13 minutes and 10 seconds. That's how much of a blowout it was. It was so much of a blowout that, like, I got to me in a slide puzzle and I just bombed it hard because there's no reason for me to solve a slide puzzle in 20 seconds because it's a 9x9 slide puzzle. I know how to do slide puzzles. I'll do another confession just for you to show that I know how to do slide puzzles because I could have done that in under 30 seconds, but I took 3 or 4 minutes just because I don't need to, show myself being good at a challenge that we already lost. They had him turn on the shadows on the jigsaw puzzle. They wouldn't have done that unless the challenge was already over. So it was over. It was totally over. So I just moved the same pieces around in a circle and then reversed the circle at the bottom 2/3 of it just to seem incompetent. Because if people think I'm loyal and incompetent, that's the best thing for my game. So great, I'll do that. But the only bad thing is that with the tribe the way it is, I have to take the strategic reins because Katie is the wild card of wild cards, and Haley's quiet. Haley isn't going to be the one to really initiate strategy. She's very smart. I know she's smart, but she's quiet. So it kind of became clear of I need to make the plan. I don't want to be the one making the plan. I want to be just kind of helping other people make the plan and just make sure it's going in a direction that I don't mind. But in this situation, it's I have to take the reins. I don't want to take the reins, but I have to take the reins of this game because I am insanely vulnerable because there's Destiny's tokens. There's advantages that, I don't know what they could do. There's only a few and then there's Katie. Then I have to rely on Katie to vote the way that she's supposed to. And of course she didn't vote the way she was supposed to. It was so simple. All we had to do was put 2 votes on Bill, and it was foolproof unless there's some sort of advantage I don't know of. So all I tried to tell Katie was vote for Bill and don't let Bill know because we don't want Bill to play his Destiny's token. That's all you have to do, Katie. That's all you have to do. You have to play. You just have to vote for Bill and not tell him. That's all I told her, and that's all she needed to do was vote for Bill and not tell him. It's that simple. She doesn't know the game, and all she needs to do to be a good ally is just let people that she trusts come up with a plan and just do what they say. And I know that sounds kind of harsh, but you haven't played with Katie. So you haven't played with Katie. I love Katie as a person. Katie's amazing. She's hysterical. She's no person I've ever met. But trusting her as an alliance member is the most risky thing you can do because she is doing her own thing. Once we lost the challenge, she didn't know we lost for about 15 minutes after the challenge. And she didn't know whether Crossroads was good or bad. I'm not making this up. She didn't know whether Crossroads are good or bad. She didn't know how to vote. She didn't know anything. So I'm trying to tell her, and for most people you can kind of explain it and they'll get it within a couple minutes. But Katie gets sidetracked by oranges and by telling stories and traveling and some old car she sees in a parking lot and stories about strippers and armed robbery, and it's just it's absolutely the craziest thing I've ever done to trust her as an alliance member because she's so unpredictable. She's so unpredictable. And I love her. I love you, Katie. Okay. Tangent. I mean, I'm just at such a loss. Piper, do you have anything to say? Yeah? Yeah, do you just want to like hold it? I'm not going to let you hold a pencil. That's probably dangerous for a baby. So we're trying to talk. So basically, I'm talking to everyone. All I have to try and convince Bill is that he's safe because I don't want him to play his Destiny token. So I'm trying to convince him he's safe. I'm trying to convince him I want to work with him. I don't. I don't. Bill's a great guy, but like, most likely we're going to lose again with Bill. I've seen him compete in other challenges, and he's just not good at challenges, at least not the ones that we've had so far. He was the biggest liability on that, and the more we lose, the crazier it's going to get, and the less allies I'm going to have, the rest of relationships I'm going to have, because I'm just going to be voting them out. And I'll get to merge, and I'll know like 2 people because our tribe's been decimated. So Bill needed to go. So I had to convince him, but of course, Bridget wouldn't get rid of Bill. She loves Bill. She wouldn't vote for him. Bill wouldn't vote for Bridget. It was a stalemate. They're trying to convince me to vote for Katie. But then, like, if I vote for Katie, where am I? Then it's a 2-2 split, me and Haley and Bridget and Bill, and I have no control. I have no power. I need to have some semblance of control. I need to have numbers, and having a 2-2 split is a recipe for me to go out in a really dinky way that I don't want to go out in. I need to have a bit of control. I don't have advantages. I don't have anything. I just need numbers, and I already have numbers. I'm not giving them up. I'm not giving up numbers, but I have to convince them that I will, so that they don't do anything unpredictable. So, talk to Bridget, talk to Bill, lovely people, try and convince them to do something stupid. I'll tell them what they should have done. They should have both played their Destiny's token and picked the same number. That's what I would have done if I was in this situation. If they had done that and both picked the right number, that's the only way both of them survive. It's the only way, unless there's another advantage I don't know of. So I'm glad they didn't come up with that plan and pick the right number, because that would have been terrifying. That would have been terrifying. And if they did come up with that plan, I needed to make sure that they weren't writing my name down. So I created as much trust as I could with them so that they wouldn't write my name down, so I wouldn't go out in some ridiculous way, because this was just like the most ridiculous situation, the most ridiculous tribal. It was, it's beyond words. I'm at a loss for words, but you wouldn't know it because I'm just like talking nonstop. It's just, I can't explain what just happened because it was so bizarre. It was so bizarre. Piper, wasn't it bizarre? Yeah. She's chill now. She was just crying up a storm. She was just crying up a storm. She cannot be satiated. If I put her down right now, she'll start wailing. Even if it's like in a bed or a soft service. All right, moving on. So yeah, we get to tribal. I knew I had to vote for Bridget because as long as Katie voted for Bill, not too hard. Just vote for Bill, don't talk about it. And Haley voted for Bill, then if Bill played his Destiny token and got it correctly, I could not risk one of my numbers going home. So, but if you play the Destiny token, you lose your vote. So then there would only be one vote that would be sending someone home. So if I put a vote on Bridget, that makes it certain that even if Bill says it correctly, it's a tie vote. So that is why I voted for Bridget as a contingency plan to keep numbers. It just had to be done. And that's some 3D chess stuff. And I didn't want to have to come out with these big moves. But I talked to Haley, because I already decided, like, during the jigsaw puzzle, I came up with this plan. When he's doing the jigsaw puzzle, I was like, well, this is how it has to go. And, so I had to kind of fill in Haley. This is what we need. And Haley, amazing. I love Haley. I really want Haley to be a very strong ally. I was worried that she was closer to Mike, but now that she's on the same tribe with me, hopefully she'll be closest to me. But Haley just spent like all of tribe time talking in a 2-person room with Katie. That's the best thing she could have done, because we just can't have Katie going rogue. So she just kept Katie in a room, and that's what she needed to do. So thank you, Haley. I really want to work with Haley so bad. She's the only person that I can trust on the tribe. Which is scary. Which is scary. You only have one person that you can even like mildly trust. Like mildly. Everyone else I can't trust at all, or is like the most unpredictable person I've ever met. So, what have you done to me, Expedition Online? What have you done? So I'm just talking madness to the moderators, because like the situation is just crazy. Like you couldn't script this. It's beyond words. I keep on saying this. I've been talking for 13 minutes. So again, should have been super easy. 2 Destiny tokens were played, which I was like, great. 2 Destiny tokens are played and they pick different numbers. That's perfect. If they picked the same numbers, I would have been terrified. But they picked different numbers, so it's like, it doesn't matter. Like, this is fine. This is totally fine. Then they're reading the votes, but my baby's screaming upstairs. My wife is crying, and she's asking me for help. But I'm like, they're literally reading the votes on Tribal, and I just don't know what to do. So I'm like trying to walk upstairs as they're reading the votes, and then all of a sudden they're saying a revote, and I'm like, what do you mean a revote? Like this, how did this happen? There was only 3 votes because both Bridget and Bill played it. What do you mean revote? That doesn't make any sense at all. And I went to the voting confessional. I had to ask them to explain it to me, because since the baby was crying and I was trying to help my wife, but I couldn't, I had no idea what happened. There was 3 votes and all of them for a different person. So Haley voted for Bill like she was supposed to. I voted for Bridget like I was supposed to. Katie played her Destiny token. Inexplicably, Katie played her Destiny token, voiding her vote. She didn't have a vote. And then Bridget actually didn't play her Destiny token. She voted for Katie. So it was a 3-way tie, and the only people that could re-vote were me and Haley. So I was like, thank God only me and Haley can re-vote, because like I know what Haley's going to do. She's going to do what we talked about that makes logical sense. And she did. She voted for Bill. Like we didn't have to, as soon as I realized what was happening, I was like, okay, this is fine. This is fine. So Bill went home. Love Bill, but he went home. And now I go back to camp, and I did lie to Bridget and said I didn't know what happened because I didn't know where the vote for her came from. I was like, I thought we were voting for Bill. I explained why we had to vote for Bill. And I was just saying, I don't know why Haley voted for you. And so it was just, so I got to try and get a bit of Haley's trust, and I got to figure out how to work with Katie, and we just have to win. And I had to play like my best day so far just to like survive, but I'm in a terrible position. Everyone else is like building alliances with like teams that are going to survive that they could possibly want to work with. And I'm with only one person I can even see myself playing with. Like, I can't play with Katie. I can't play with her. I cannot play with Katie. I love Katie, and I can't play with her. It's impossible. I don't think anyone can play with Katie. It's beyond even like taking someone to the end that you think you can beat. Like, because playing with Katie is like spinning a wheel. You don't know where it's going to land. It's impossible. Like, it is playing Russian roulette. And I can't work with her, but I had to for a single vote, and I might have to for future votes, and that's terrifying. I'm so sorry. Whoever's watching this after 16 minutes, bless your hearts. But I needed to have like therapy with you in this confessional, and I need to put my baby to sleep. Good night. So I'm so sorry, mods, for recording so many videos, but I actually think there's some pretty good insight in here. I just have to say one more thing, because I had an epiphany. I had a game-changing epiphany. that I think is going to put me in an amazing position, and like an absolutely amazing position. Like, it's something I haven't even talked about yet, even though I've like recorded over half an hour of content for you on Confessionals today alone. Baby, I love you. All right. So yeah, her idea, I promise. It was her idea. So Bridget, after Crossroads, told me a bombshell, an absolute bombshell. She told me what happened at the cliff. I forget the name. She told me what happened when she was exiled with Katie. She told me that Jess, who was the first person voted out, came to visit them on the cliff and was able to give one of them an advantage. And since Bridget voted her out, she gave the advantage to Katie. So the plan is, and I'm really good at convincing people to do things, I'm going to get Katie to give me the advantage. I'm going to pull a mother-son relationship. I'm going to tell her how much she reminds me of my mom. She doesn't remind me at all of my mom. But I'm going to pull the heartstrings, and I'm going to get her to give me whatever she has. And as long as it's transferable, I know. That's what I said. That's what I said. As long as it's transferable. I know. As long as it's transferable, I'm going to get her to give me whatever she has. And I'm like pretty positive that I can do it in under, let's see, what do I want to give me? I think I can do it in under a 10-minute conversation.
What the heck was that tonight? Oh my gosh. I was there and I'm having trouble following along. Oh my gosh. So tonight, it was really cagey what we were doing for our challenge. We were wondering if people would be sitting out because there was only 5 challenges and it took a long time to get there. And then we go to do the challenge, but surprise, Janet's there. We love Janet. We are team Janet. Janet had some news for us, which, you know, is usually not the best sign. And apparently it was time for a party swap. Is that the appropriate time to say, damn it, Janet? My gosh. So we ended up going from 2 tribes to 3 tribes. I did get to be in a majority of Janet's with my party. So that seemed good. But the night was crazy. The night was so crazy. I was feeling good about our party. We got a little bit of time to talk before we actually got to do the challenge. But then we just did terrible. We took so much longer than the other times that the parties had. But most of that just came down to our puzzle. And so the puzzle was done by Bill, who was original team Kelly. So it seemed like he should be the one to go. We did do a lot of talking when we got back to the base camp. I started off by talking to Bridget, and Bridget was really wanting Bill to stay. And then I talked to Bill, and Bill was really wanting Bill to stay. He seemed willing to do anything to make it that way. But David and I really wanted Bill to go and to keep strong. However, Katie, our lovely wild card, had so much to say tonight, so much to say. She asked to be voted out, but then she used her Destiny's token, and I still don't even know if she really knows what's going on or if she's just really playing us, because she loves to mention that she's a poker player as well. I also learned that when she said that her and Bridget weren't together at the peak, that they really were, and they had a pact to not vote each other out. So I think everybody's a little mad at everybody there. So now we're down to 4. 3 original red versus 1 blue. But going forward, I would like to talk to Bridget more and make sure she knows that I wanted Bill gone, but not her gone. And it doesn't necessarily have to be her next if it was to be us again. Katie is a wild card. I don't know what kind of game she's playing, and I don't know if I still want her to be here.
We've got a good sense of what the challenge is. It's probably going to be some kind of combination of physical and puzzle. That's what I'm assuming. It's been done before in Expedition, and I'm believing that this one is going to also be this. The one thing that's been kind of confusing is that there are only 5 slots available, and something about that just doesn't sit right with me, because we wouldn't normally have that many people sitting out of a challenge. So I'm interested to see why that is, if it means that more than one person has to complete a task. My party might be in a little bit of trouble. We don't have necessarily a lot of physical people. It was basically me and Carl having to step up for the physical stuff, and it was kind of a tough decision. So we've got some interesting moments ahead of us if that's the case, but we'll see. So we ended up having a party mix-up, which was interesting to say the least. Troy ended up pulling himself from the game, which I feel bad for him. I'm sure he's going through a lot right now, but I mean, game moves on. We have to as well. And I think I lucked out with one of the absolute best tribes that could have absolutely been put together in this game. We have a party of myself, Carl, and Mike, who are all pretty good buds on the original tribe. I didn't get to talk to Mike as much, and I don't think Carl really did either, so I'm kind of hoping Mike isn't thinking about flipping. We'll have to see. And then we end up with Philip and Neil from the other party, Team Kelly, which was very interesting because at the very beginning of the game, Janet mentions, hey, I want to give you guys the heads up. Philip and Neil are the ones to watch out for on the other party. And I'm thinking, as soon as I see this mix-up and hear the teams, not only am I thinking this is the strongest tribe, this is the best opportunity to take out 2 people that a former Survivor player, and I'm going to give them credit and take their advice. We have an opportunity to take out 2 people that a former Survivor says are going to be a problem moving forward. So I found it appropriate to don my black hoodie, and we're going to have to spread some death in this tribe. I might have to be the Grim Reaper and take out 2 guys that could do some damage at the merger or the dissolve or whatever. This is a perfect opportunity, and I know we're going to win challenges unless we intentionally throw. So that's something that we're going to have to think about. That's something that may cross our path sooner than I think my 2 allies are hoping. I need to talk them into it, because this is a perfect opportunity for us to not only get numbers going into the dissolve, but also so that we can, get out 2 powerhouses. I know people are going to see as myself, Carl, and Mike as potential threats, but there's a lot of people that are still threats that are still going to be in the game, so we don't have to necessarily worry about that as much as a lot of other people think we'll have to. So I don't necessarily believe it's the best move to actually win out till merge, because history repeats itself. Most teams that have, in a 3-party situation, the winning party, the party that goes to the tribal count, the crossroads the least, has always kind of been the one that the other two gang up on. So it might not be a good idea for us to stick together, especially if we want to protect some of our core alliance members over on White. If White ever goes to tribal council, we might be in jeopardy a little bit. I want to reduce the number of Team Kellys as much as possible. This would be ideal because I haven't been able to build that many connections. The people I'd probably connect to most would be Philip and Neil, and I don't necessarily trust them. So I think this is a great opportunity, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to capitalize on it because there's nothing like a good blindside. And I think we could pull it off. I think we could pull it off, and that's what I'm excited about. So we'll see where that goes, but I don't know.
Hey Bill, I didn't vote for you tonight. This little parrot told me I didn't have to. I could use a Destiny's token. So I did. Good luck. I like looking right up into the camera when I'm talking to some people. Bill, I used my Destiny's token on you tonight because I didn't want to vote for you. And you probably had a hard puzzle to do. I couldn't see it, so I'm not going to hold that against you. And I think you're probably a great player. So you're not getting my vote tonight. Good luck.
Hi everyone, it's Mariana with my day 3 confessional. So what a night, let me tell you. Alright, so before we started the challenge, we are given instructions to, figure out who should do what in terms of, who will be doing a physical part of the challenge and who will be doing the mental. However, there were only 5 tasks, right? So we're like thinking, okay, maybe we're gonna have to sit out 2 people, right? So that's what we were thinking. So Chukanita party, we figured out, okay, I'm doing this. I was supposed to do the jigsaw party, okay? The jigsaw puzzle, okay? Which I'm glad that I eventually did not have to do that. I was like, I can do good with jigsaws, but the jigsaw would have taken probably like the longest out of the entire challenge, right? Or it would factor in more of the time of the challenge. So pretty much, we get to our challenge and we learn of the party swap from Janet, which was actually really cool to see Janet. Again, I was fangirling when I saw Janet, but I did not like the news that Janet brought because our party just figured out who we were going to sit out or who we were going to, have do each challenge. Definitely a wrench thrown into our plans. So then we started the party swap draw thing, whatever you want to call it. And the whole time I was like nervous. First off, I was the first person drawn for this new third party that was created. It's called Wushkitan. So Wushkitan was created. So I am on Wushkitan with myself, Bambi, Kupini, Danielle, and then Olivia. So right now, Chukanita, or the old Chukanita, Team Kelly. So technically Team Kelly, we have the numbers in our party right now. We have Danielle and Olivia from Team Janet. So right now, so myself, Bambi, and Kupini, we're in a good spot. But when I heard that Danielle is on my team, like, honestly, I'm glad. No one knows that we know each other. Hopefully, I get to talk to Danielle to hope that me and her could say, okay, let's keep that a secret between the both of us. Because right now, no one knows that we know each other. And I hope that Danielle can keep that a secret. All right, so let's talk about the challenge. So once we got into our new parties, we only had 5 minutes to reallocate our tasks. So thankfully, most of us already had unique tasks, like no one really stepped over anything. Luckily, I was able to get away from the jigsaw and go to physical. Like, I felt more comfortable with my physical traits more than the jigsaw. Like, I probably would have done good with the jigsaw too. But the jigsaw would have been the most, I guess, time-consuming part of time-consuming part of the challenge. So like, let's say we lost, we would have been like, oh well, whoever did the jigsaw took like 8 minutes or whatever, you know what I mean? So thankfully I did my 50 jumping lunges in like, I would say it felt like less than a minute. So when they were announcing the winners of the challenge, our team was expecting for us to come in first place. So when we heard that we weren't in first place, we got very nervous. We're like, oh great, we might go into Crossroads. So yeah, we definitely were nervous at first. Really, they didn't say our party name, and we were exempt. So yeah. So honestly, when we went back to the camp, back to the base camp, we literally, the 5 of us, we just stayed at base camp the entire time. Like, no one wanted to make the move to like break out into the other rooms. And I really wanted to talk to Danielle so bad, like, hey Danielle, like, you and me need to stay low key and don't tell anyone that we know each other. Like, I really hope she won't tell anyone that she knows me, because I can pretty much, her game right now, her safety is in my hands in a way. Like I said, like, the old Team Kelly, we have the numbers to get rid of either Olivia or Danielle technically. So I'm gonna see what Danielle does, but I'm hoping we win. I'm hoping my party will stay safe until merge. Let's hope. But should we not, like, I need to see where Danielle and I stand. I'm excited for my new party. Nervous for the next challenge. I hope we can pull through and win. And yeah, I'm gonna also try to stay low-key in this tribe. I feel like so far Kapini and I are doing a lot of the talking. So I need to be a little bit less social and let Kapini seem like he's the most, active in the group. So, but like I said, myself, Bambi, and Kapini, like, we have the numbers, so I hope we can stay together and control our party as much as we can. Plus, we sense that there's going to be 2 parties who will go into Crossroads tomorrow, so we're preparing for like a potential possibility of two explorers going home tomorrow. So we have to stay in control or else we're screwed. I really hope that Bridget can survive Crossroads tonight. Unfortunately, Bridget's party lost and didn't get exemption, so I really hope that she can pull through, because I really do like Bridget as like a ally. So Bridget told our party that before the party swap, she told us that her and Katie went into a room together. She kind of explained that they just spoke for an hour, and then eventually Jess came into the game and ultimately chose someone to give an advantage to. So to my knowledge, Bridget told Team Kelly that Katie got it because she didn't get it. But I don't know what to believe. But then when our party swap happened, Danielle and Olivia told us, oh, Katie said she didn't talk to Bridget and that it was just a motivational video. So Katie pretty much either lied to Danielle or Bridget lied to us. Hopefully Bridget didn't lie to us, but because her story was more detailed. But yeah, so I'm curious to see who they're going to vote out on their party. I'm curious how Katie and Bridget's dynamic will work together, if they're going to be friends or not. So curious to see who ultimately got casted away tonight. So guess I'll find out tomorrow. But yeah, that's my update. Have a good night, everyone, and see you tomorrow.
Okay, so today was a crazy episode. Just want to take my screen down because so I feel good So let me start from the beginning. So basically, we get into camp initially. We're kind of wondering what's going on with the challenge. Like we haven't gotten any video yet. We don't really know what's going on. We get the video, and I'm watching the video. I had to watch it twice. There was only 5 parts to the challenge, and there's 8 of us in the tribe. And I just kept thinking, like, that doesn't make any sense. Why are we sitting out 3 people? Like, 3 of us don't get to compete? Like, that seems lame. Like, why am I here? Like, why did I, like, prep and get ready and, like, all that, right? So I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, but that doesn't make any sense either because, you know, even if there's a party swap, like, only 5 people are competing. Like, how does that even work with 16 players? And then we get to Challenge Beach or Exemption Challenge, and there's a missing player. There's 2 missing players. There's Anthony, obviously, because we just voted him out. Thank God. And Troy. Troy has been medevaced. So there's only 15 players left. And immediately I'm thinking, oh my God, we're going to party swap. Like, we're going to do this. Like, this is going to happen. And then Janet shows up, and Janet announces a tribe, and Janet announces a party swap. So I'm like, this is it. Like, this is where my game just either skyrockets or gets completely just overblown. Like, there's no way that I'm either going to survive this and, like, do really, really well and be on a party that works really well together and hopefully I'm in the numbers, or I'm going to get completely party screwed and it's going to be the end of the game, right? Swap screwed. So the names are coming out, and my name hasn't really come out. And then Neil and Josh and I end up on a party together. So I'm like, okay, that's not bad. I just need one other Team Janet person to join us. And it comes down to Carl or Danielle left in the bag. And I'm like, please be Danielle. Please be Danielle. Because I knew that Danielle would work with me, and I didn't think that Danielle would do anything with Neil or Philip. And then Carl's name gets pulled. And I'm thinking, okay, not terrible, because Carl is a super loyal player. Like, I don't think Carl's going to be scheming or manipulating or trying to, like, screw anybody over. So that's a positive. The dilemma is that Carl does not stop talking. He literally talks over everybody. He talked over Philip, like, I counted on my fingers. Philip would start saying something, and Carl would just be, I'm a teacher, and people interrupt all the time. Kids talk over me. Kids are having conversations while I'm trying to teach, and there's just this dynamic of, like, I constantly am dealing with people that are talking over me. I don't deal well with adults that do that. And so it's been very, like, trying to just stay calm and not let Carl bother me. So we're trying to figure out who's going to do what challenge or what part of the challenge. So there's Neil, Joshua, Philip, Carl, and I on a tribe, which is perfect because we are physical players. So the 3 physical parts of the challenge, we've got on lock, 100%. So as we're talking about the puzzles, Neil's like, I'm, like, awesome at slide puzzles. Like, I got this. And we're like, okay, cool. So then it comes down to Josh or me, because Carl knows he's doing a physical one. Philip's like, yep, I got the lunges, because nobody else wants to do them. I got that, guys. So it comes down to Josh and I. One of us is doing the jigsaw puzzle, and one of us is going to do the mountain jumpers, or I don't know what they're called, the feet things. And I'm like, well, honestly, like, if I fuck up a puzzle, like, I'm done. Like, there's no way that I'm going to survive a crossroads. So I let Josh do the puzzle, and I'm very happy with that because Josh rocked the puzzle, and I rocked the physical part. So we all did really, really well. So as we complete the challenge, we wait, and we wait, and we wait, and we just talk and talk. Sorry, Carl talks and talks and talks. And Carl just goes on and on and on and on. And it's like, all right, cool. And it gets to the point where we're all like, we won. We had to have. Like, it's been a long time that we've been sitting here waiting for the challenge to end. So finally the challenge ends. We get to, we go back to Exemption Beach, whatever you want to call it. And we're told that our time was 7 minutes and the second place team was 13 minutes. So we're like, we rock. Like, we did so well. I'm so proud of our team. I'm really proud of Josh. I think he did a great job on the puzzle. And Neil and Philip have been a great addition and, great people to get to know. So we win the challenge. We get to go back to our camp completely relaxed, no major issues. We get to camp, and I immediately notice that only 2 people can go to the fire and only 2 people can go to the bay. That's it. And there's 5 of us in camp. So I'm like, somebody gets left out. Like, nobody's going to split off at this point. So the 5 of us sit at camp the entire time and listen to Carl interrupt time and time and time again. And maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm the only one that's getting frustrated with it. But it's like, I've been on his tribe this whole time. And, there was no doubt in my mind I was voting Anthony off over Carl. But it's getting to a point where I can't even talk to anybody. I can't get to know anybody else. Like, it's all about Carl. Like, I learned a little bit more about Josh because we kind of went around and talked about ourselves. But again, people are trying to enter into the conversation and Carl is just constantly involved in the conversation. And it doesn't give anybody else a chance to really, shine or show their personality or be part of the conversation. And it's very frustrating. And maybe I'm the only one feeling it. So I have to kind of play that out and kind of see where people are feeling. I don't see myself turning on Carl. Carl, myself, and Josh all come from Team Janet. I want to stay solid with that group. I really like both of them. But at the end of the day, neither of them are in my core 5. And Bambi is on another tribe. Bambi is somebody that I have connected with on day 0 with Danielle and Olivia. So the 3 of them are all together on Wu-Tang. I don't even know what the name of the Whoosh tribe, the white tribe. You've got Olivia, Bambi, and Danielle all together. So I'm hoping that Olivia and Danielle can survive if they have to go to Crossroads by pulling in Bambi and voting out either Cupini or Mariana. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed on that. So that aside, that leaves me David and Haley on the other tribe, and then Josh and Carl, who I really didn't connect that strongly with back on original Team Janet. So I have to play my cards as smoothly as I can to let Josh and Carl know I'm with you guys, like, we got this, and let Philip and Neil kind of into my web a little bit. Both of them stood out to me as people I didn't want to work with. I did not want to work with Neil. I think he's going to be a huge threat. And I didn't want to work with Philip. He was kind of giving me like some interesting vibes during day 1 or day 0. So I'm debating what to do about that, because they could be an opportunity for me to make, some connections elsewhere in case Olivia or Danielle or Haley or David don't make it through. So 2 on one tribe, 2 on the other tribe. I'm on a tribe by myself with Josh and Carl. So at least I have numbers. I just have to figure out if I can twist the numbers to make it a little bit more to my advantage. Because potentially, if we lose 3 challenges in a row, I potentially could be number 3. I don't know where Carl and Josh's connection, goes. So I have to continue to solidify myself with Josh more. I've been wanting to talk to him more, so I need to make sure that I get that opportunity. I'm hoping that I'm hoping if we win the next challenge, I want to put out there that, like, hey, we really need to kind of like talk one-on-one with some people. I'm hoping somebody else brings it up first. I hope Philip does, to be honest. I think he's aching to do it. So I want to open up that opportunity, but I also want my people to know that I'm with them. Like, I like Josh. Josh is a great guy, and so I want to work with him. I want to make some sort of connection with him. So we'll kind of see how that goes. It's crazy. It was a crazy episode. I'm really happy we won. So we got to at least bond a little bit with Neil and Philip without having to just vote one of them out. So we actually get to kind of get to know them a bit more. But we all rocked the challenge. So the challenge has nothing to do with a vote coming up. So it's going to be about connections and relationships. And the only way we can do that is to get some one-on-one time. So I really need to make sure that happens tomorrow, regardless of whether we go to Crossroads. If we go to Crossroads, or if we have to go to Crossroads, we're definitely going to do one-on-ones. But if we don't have to go to Crossroads, I need to make it happen, because I need to make sure that I can talk to Carl and Josh at some point without Neil and Philip around. But I also want some opportunities to talk to Neil and Philip. So I've got my work cut out for me. I feel good. I feel solid. At least if things don't go necessarily the best tomorrow, Josh is not a target. So it's either going to be Carl or me. And I'm just hoping that Carl is irritating Philip enough, because he's cut Philip off. He's literally interrupted Philip almost every time Philip tries to talk. I don't know if that's strategic or if that's just who Carl is, but I was getting frustrated for Philip, and I don't really, I care, but I shouldn't care, right? Like if Carl's going to dominate the conversation, then that's good, because then we know that Carl, Josh, me just vote together. But at the end of the day, I need to make sure that Philip and Neil are not targeting me, just in case something crazy happens. So if I can kind of push votes at Carl, that's fine with me. So I need to make sure that I make solid connections with Philip and Neil very, very quickly. So that's the strategy. That's the hope. I probably should have pushed more for some one-on-one time today, so it didn't seem as schemy. Just be like, hey, let's do quick dating, where we all just kind of rotate in and out. I think it would have been smarter to do it today, but I'm hoping we just win the challenge tomorrow and we can kind of just chill, relax, and then we have until Sunday, and we've made it a week. So, if I can make it, that means I've made it. I've now made it past 4 eliminations. So I'm in the final 14. So that's really exciting. So I'm really excited about that. But I want to make it to Rendezvous. I need to make it to Rendezvous. So if I can just make sure that Neil and Philip are not coming after me, but going after Carl, then that will make me feel a little bit better. I think we can smoothly get through the tribal council. And if Carl happens to go, it's still 2-2. I still don't feel like I'm out of the numbers. And then on the flip side, if Philip or Neil go, I know that the numbers are with me. So I feel like I'm in a good spot. I feel like I could potentially be a swing vote if it came down to it. I'm just hoping that I can keep that momentum. I hope I can keep that pivot spot. So we'll see how tomorrow goes. I'm really excited to have made it past the first 4 eliminations. So I'm feeling decent. I feel like I haven't quite embarrassed myself. So that's great. I'm really excited. I can't wait to get to know these guys a little bit more. And at the end of the day, they potentially, if we can all get to a rendezvous together, they're potentially big shields for me, because I can reconnect with Olivia and Danielle and Haley and David. And I feel like I could potentially kind of flip that vote, back into the direction that I want it to go. So feeling good. This is a really long confessional, so I apologize, but a lot happened, and I feel really good. I'm just looking forward to seeing who kind of got voted out of the Blue Tribe, so that I can kind of make some decisions mentally about where I want to go with my alliances and who I want to connect with. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. Have a great night.
Oh man, so wow. We get to exemption tonight, and Janet shows up to drop the big bomb on us about a party swap. I did not get a chance to even speak to Bridget one on one tonight like I wanted to. I was really hoping to build a connection there, and yeah. But anyway, Janet reveals the party swap, and my head is just like trying to, like, I'm just like thinking, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen, you know? So anyway, I ended up on a party with Mike, Carl, Joshua. So we got three OG Team Janet, and then it's Philip and myself from Team Kelly. So yeah, immediately, Philip and I on the bottom, and oh man, I was just like freaking out, but trying to stay in control the whole time. Anyway, we strategized and we decided who was going to do what. I decided to do the slide puzzle. I told them I'd rather do that than the jigsaw puzzle. The other guys wanted to do the physical challenge, so I was like, that's fine. But we absolutely dominated the challenge, and we won exemption. And yeah, so we did not have to go to Crossroads tonight, which I was extremely happy about. I don't know what kind of scrambling would have taken place back at camp, and I have no idea. I'm only assuming that Team Janet would have stayed together and voted either Philip or myself out tonight. But yeah, I am so chuffed that we won and did not have to go to Crossroads tonight. But at the same time, I'm really nervous because Bill and Bridget both went to Crossroads tonight, and they on the bottom of their party. They're in the party with Katie, Haley, Bridget, Bill, and David. So we got 3 original Team Janet and 2 original Team Kellys on that party. So I'm really nervous about that. And yeah, the only other thing though is that Katie and Bridget just got back from Serrated Peak, right? That's the name of it. But anyway, they just got back, and the story that Bridget told us when she got back to camp today did not whatsoever match up with the story that apparently Katie told Team Janet when she got back. So yeah, that's a little interesting right there. But I will say though that Bridget's story sounded way more believable than Katie's story. And if Bridget made that up and she managed to get an advantage, then she really fabricated that well. But yeah, I'm really nervous going forward. I think that our party can dominate with challenges. Tomorrow, I'm really excited to find out what happens. But I think that we could possibly win again and avoid Crossroads, hopefully. But who knows what kind of twists lay ahead. So yeah, it's going to be exciting. So yeah, Bridget comes back from Serrated Peak, and then she shares her story with us. She said that she got there and she was hanging out with Katie, and Jess shows up, who we voted out in day 1. And well, they sitting there chatting for a while, and then Jess decides who is going to get an advantage in the game. Uh, this seems kind of crazy, and I want to believe her, especially since tonight we also found out Katie's side of the story that she apparently told Team Janet, which was we hung out with Docs or something. And, well, they watched a video from Docs. I didn't quite get the whole story. I was just completely mind blown, like how far apart these two stories were. And honestly, Bridget sounded way more believable, but I'm not sure. If Bridget made this story up and she somehow managed to get an advantage, she really did a good job at fabricating it. So Bridget said that Jess was fairly upset about how she got deserted, and she ended up giving the advantage to Katie. After the party swap, they both ended up on the same party together. So I'm really curious how those two stories ended up clashing, and if the truth came out about what actually took place there. And if one of them had an advantage and was throwing the other one under the bus, then yeah, I'm really, really interested to see how this played out and who got voted out on Chuckanady tonight, because I really did not want to see Bill or Bridget to go home, because those are both folks that I wanted to work with going forward. And if we end up at the rendezvous and they still here, I would still like to make some connections with them. Carl, oh my gosh, what a guy. This guy is an absolute hoot. Yeah, so I am now in the party with Carl, and wow, some of the stories he has, and he just talks and talks and talks and just goes on and on and on. This guy, he belongs on the real show, so yeah, he needs to get there for sure. I think he will make really good television. I'm excited to have him on our party. So hopefully we can get to know him a little bit better and build some connections. And yeah, hopefully we can keep dominating challenges also going forward, so we can avoid going to Crossroads, because we definitely do not want to end up at Crossroads, especially with Philip and I on the bottom of this party.
All right, so made it through day 3. So we had the swap today, and ended up with a pretty stacked team, and we absolutely dominated, which was really fun. Again, I think it's stressful that we're on a new team, and the alliances that we had are kind of out the window. But luckily, I ended up with Neil. Neil is definitely one of the people who I was closest with on the team. And I really, really like the new team. I'm hoping that as we continue, I hope that both Mariana and Cupino make it through, because those were, I think, me, Mariana, Cupino, and Neil, I felt really close with all of them. And I hope they make it through, because then when there's an eventual, everyone comes together and there's no longer any parties, that I want to still have some allies. But I think the plan right now is just don't lose, don't have to put in a situation where Neil or I are on the outside. The guys said that they're kind of doing a reset and a fresh start, which is great, and I hope it holds true. But right now we're on the opposite side of the numbers, so we'll see. So big night tomorrow. A win would guarantee safety going into the weekend, and that would be a great way to start the weekend. So got to keep the momentum going and taking it one day at a time.
So we had the party swap, and I honestly feel like things could have gone a lot worse, even though I'm in the only party that has like the majority of the other party, and then it's just me and Danielle. But I honestly feel like we got the members of the other party that I wanted to get. Like, I really clicked with Bambi on the day 0 call, and Mariana always seemed really nice to me. And Kupini is chill too. I just knew that I didn't want Neil or Philip, because those are the two that stand out to me as huge threats, and I definitely knew that I didn't want them in the game. I also knew that I didn't want Katie in my party either, because I just feel like she's definitely like a loose cannon. In challenges, she might not be the best, and then I definitely can't trust her at all. She's definitely putting on an act that I'm starting to see through, even though it did have me fooled for a little bit. But I'm really happy about the challenge today. I was really apprehensive about doing those mountain climbers, because I'm probably the smallest girl in the game, and usually they have like the big buff guys do those types of challenges, and like the smaller, weaker girls generally do the puzzles. But I know that it wasn't, like, I didn't do an amazing job with those mountain climbers, but I definitely did better than I expected, and I didn't make our party lose, which was really nice, because I proved to myself that, like, I am a competitor. But yeah, it was really interesting to get to talk as a new party for the first time. I heard that the thing that Katie told us about what happened when she went to that place with Bridget, And she and Bridget didn't even interact, and then she got this like weird impersonal video from Janet. I found out that that was all a lie, or at least that wasn't what Bridget was telling her party, because Bridget was saying that Katie got an advantage from Jess, and that the two of them talked for 2.5 hours and Katie wouldn't stop talking. So apparently she lied to us. And it was good to sort of realize, like, okay, like, this is, like, actual proof, the proof that we need that I can't trust her. So it was good to have that solidified, because I really doubt Bridget is lying about that. I definitely think that Katie is someone that can't be trusted. But yeah, I was looking at the iceberg picture that Jess posted in our party chat, because she first posted something with the acronym CLUES, like all the first letters were capitalized and it spelled out clues. And I knew right away, like, especially when someone types a message out that's like that cryptic and makes no sense, like it's definitely some sort of idle or advantage clue. And I definitely think that the picture of the iceberg had some sort of clue in it. But I looked at it, I like zoomed in, I looked in every corner, I couldn't find anything. I might just try circling random things and sending them just in case, but I'm kind of stumped. It makes me feel pretty dumb that I'm not getting this. I'm pretty sure I've checked every single mod's name and profile that's in the server, just to see if there's some kind of compass or advantage hidden in their profile, because I don't know where else to look for them. Like, I know that Katie had an advantage from Jess, but I don't know what other opportunities in the game there are to get advantages. And I feel like this one was just kind of thrown at us and I still can't find it. But yeah, the last thing that I wanted to touch on in my confessional was that I was looking at the list of charities that everyone was playing for, because it was in like the Instagram bio for Expedition Online. And I think because on the day, I think the day 0 call or day 1 call or whatever, everyone in my party was going around saying what charities that we were all playing for, and I must have missed one, because Anthony, as in the Anthony that we voted out, he had a really interesting choice of charity, which when I saw it, I was honestly shocked. He was playing for an emetophobia related charity, and it honestly made me wish that I didn't vote him out. I mean, I know I had no choice and it was unanimous, but like, it's crazy to actually like meet someone else. I mean, we never talked about it, but to meet someone else that understands the struggle that you go through, to meet someone else who could potentially be emetophobic and like understand what that means is so rare. And I never thought that I would find anything like that in an org, because no one really knows what it is. And I think it's great that he picked this charity, because it's finally sort of getting some recognition. And people might like look it up and see what it is, because it really is something that's never talked about. It's not even really something that people know exists. Not even just the term, but just the fact that that phobia can be so debilitating and so life-ruining, like, isn't something that people talk about. So I was just absolutely shocked, like, in a good way, to see that that was the charity he picked. And I'm just so sad that I didn't get to talk about with him in the game, because I feel like we really could have bonded over having that kind of a struggle in common. But I'm looking forward to talking to him about it after the game.